Damn it. No, that's not what I want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's over. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the stores. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh my
lovely.
God.
I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Alright, cool. Thank you. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Korner Booth pregame. I am your host, Jared Clem, alongside a great cast of characters tonight. Whoo, we are in for a good show. First off, joining us from his house, I believe in Texas, he may correct me here. This man hosts one of my favorite up-and-coming sports shows at Belly Up Sports. They do an awesome poll every week where they talk about who's like the winner or the dog of the week. It's awesome. I love it. He's also one of the coolest motherfuckers. And he's also drinking some Lone Star beer tonight, which is, I just respect it off the rip. Ladies and gentlemen, Chet from Sports Scramble.
What's up? What's up? I think that might be the best introduction I've ever gotten, so I appreciate it. And you were right. I'm in Texas. I'm in Central Texas, drinking a Lone Star beer. I had to crack it out of the fridge. You reminded me when you said you were pouring yourself a glass of whiskey. I was like, man, I gotta grab something.
After today, I needed a whiskey, so I am drinking a Jesus Christ, from High West Prairie Bourbon. I absolutely love this whiskey. It is so fucking good. If you drink this anything but straight, maybe with just one ice cube. Listen, with bourbon, just one ice cube.
Get a one big ice cube, throw it in there.
That's the classy way to do it. And of course, joining us from him and his fiance's place in Connecticut, the TikTok Viking, my amazing co-host who keeps me mellow. He's the mellow side to my dynamite wrapped in gasoline. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Red.
What is going on, everybody?
Oh my God!
Happy to be here on this beautiful Korner Booth Thursday pregame, and I've got 2 margaritas today, so that is a special occasion because I usually either have one or none.
I'm happy you drank it because, bro, I felt bad on Tuesday. You were like hustling out of here.
Oh, that was terrible. I worked from 8:00 at night. I think it went on until about a little after 4 in the morning. And nothing actually got done. So what they were supposed to do malfunctioned. So they had to put the old
equipment
back in.
Isn't that how most state work happens anyway?
Yes. It's just frustrating when it just happens and you're the one that has to document it.
Yeah, no, I got you. Chet, how's it going? How's the show rolling? We're trying to make sure when we have guests on who haven't been on in a while, we make sure we plug their show as much as possible. What's going on with the boys of the Sports Scramble? How you living? How the fellas?
Now we're doing good. We just had we actually just all met up again last weekend in Baton Rouge. Got a little golf in, got a little LSU baseball in. If I'm sure you've noticed if you've been listening that it's been a very LSU heavy biased podcast recently, especially with the Tigers being #1. So that's been a big thing. Talking about college baseball, previewing the draft. Of course, we're going to be on the Belly Up Draft Show next week. We got Tyler and Wade. I think the last 5 picks of the draft. So when our Saints pick, they're trying to figure out who they think they're going to take. Tyler just sent me his top 10, so I can read that when we get to it later in the show. But no, just having fun talking sports, man.
That's awesome, brother. That's what Belly Up is all about. So my boss asked me the other day at my day job. He goes, Hey, why do you do the sports podcast? Or maybe it was maybe the COO. It was somebody who was ranked a little higher than me in the company.
Right.
And I said, I'm like, listen, because me and a bunch of dudes and ladies and everyone else who wants to talk sports but doesn't fit into the stupid fucking mold that the conventional media rolls with, we get a shot. Speaking of which, another dude doesn't fit the mold. I love this man. He's a butcher from the great state of Georgia. Shout out to our boy Morgan, man. Stacey Morgan. Listen, Morgan, the only person who's doing worse, Stacey, the only person who's doing worse in the playoffs than you right now is me and my Timberwolves. Holy fuck, the last 2 games were fucking brutal.
That was rough.
Oh my god. Anthony Edwards puts up 41 points, we still can't catch a bucket.
I gotta give a shout out to his Hawks. We were when we were in Baton Rouge, of course, they got the Barstool Sports book and one of the casinos down there. So me and the guys were watching the playoffs kick off on Saturday, and Wade and Jacob, my other two co-hosts, they put some money on the Hawks to cover. It was like 12.5 was the money line or the spread, and of course they're getting beat by like 35 at half or something like that. And I hit them with a live bet at the start of the third quarter for them to cover 17.5, and it was close, but they did it. And of course, the other two guys lost. But shout out to the Hawks for winning me some money.
I got to throw a shot to the Diamondbacks because they made the smartest decision of fucking baseball today. They have officially DFA'd Madison Bumgarner. He's fucking gone. I hate that cowboy fuck with all my life. And man, it's really bad when your team has three promising starters and one ace. I didn't even consider Merrill Kelly a borderline like good number 2 pitcher. And we can't stop when our third pitcher is an automatic loss in every fucking series. He's got a 10 ERA and 3 starts. I don't understand how somebody is so fucking terrible at pitching. Like, you think, Zach Greinke lost his fastball the year before he went to Arizona. But you know what he did in LA? He figured out how to go around throwing 90. He developed an ethos, great location. I swear Mad Bum just tried to grunt his way into striking people out.
It's, wow, these stats, my man. Just for this year alone.
Maddie, read them out.
Oh, my God, this is really bad. So he's 0 for 3 with a 10.26, like Jared just said, ERA. He has given up 25 hits, 19 earned runs, 4 home runs, and he has apparently walked 15. I don't think that's that can't be accurate. Did he really walk 15 people in 3 starts? That's 5. That is 5 walks per start because he has about maybe 3. I don't know why I can't hear you, but your mic is like not working.
Well, I think we lost you, Jared.
I muted my mic to check on a sound effect. My bad.
These are some. I can understand why you're happy that you got pretty much just chopped up $30-something million because these are not
no salary cap, baby.
They're not even like your 5th or 6th rotational man. Like these are terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That looks like a guy who.
Starter.
Oh my god! But listen, celebratory air horn. Oh my god, I love this shit, man. Let's go. We're gonna clap it up for the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. Wait, no, that's wrong. Nope, wrong one. Hey, good job, Mike Hazen. Love you, buddy. Good job.
There's only
hell yeah.
There's only really a handful of things that I thank Jared's teams for. There's the production of Joe Douglas from the Eagles. There's Didi Gregorius from the Diamondbacks, and then there's the fact that they got Madison Bumgarner in 2020 instead of Brian Cashman pulling the trigger. So I'm very thankful for that after looking at all this.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, what up to our boy Brent, by the way? Yeah, Brent, we'll have you on the show soon. My favorite Canadian.
I mean, 2012 to 2016 were his greatest years in his entire career since 2009. But after that, I mean, 2017 and down it just gets worse.
What kills me is that if he was this bad 3 years before we gave him the fucking contract. Oh my god! You know what the worst part is? In 2020, he was actually very good. He almost threw a no hit. He threw a no hitter that was robbed because it was only 7 innings. Like, There was so much
Yeah.
good happening. And then he just unraveled.
I remember when he used to be good for the Giants. I mean, it's been a minute, but
I remember when he was good for the Giants because I had to deal with when he was good for the Giants.
Yeah, it's the 2015 season, 18-9 with the 2.9 ERA, and then they just 2016 was still good, and then after that, like I said, 2017, the most games he won in the season since 2017 is 9.
Well, 17, 18, and 19, the Giants were freaking booty.
They were. And then good old clueless Gabe Kapler came in and made them relevant after he just shit in fucking Philly.
Fucking Gabe Kapler looks like that try-hard dad trying to pick up girls at a gym after his first divorce.
He looks like that dad that would take a picture with like the girlfriend's boyfriend with like the shotgun in the picture.
Or they're like,
that kind of
or
Any
he's the one
Texas
asking
dad.
if all the he's the one who's like whose daughter's hosting the party, but he wants to shotgun a beer with all the guys.
He's a crowd pleaser, dad. He tries to be taken seriously, but at the end of the day, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah, and we shout out to our boy Kelsey for suffering as a Giants fan. But his his Kings are kicking ass. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, they take on a very, very polarizing. Listen, I love this player, so like, I love that we're gonna boo the piss out of him tonight. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is back off of an 80-game suspension and 3 surgeries. The MLB The Show 21 cover boy, who is one of the most polarizing players in baseball, one of the few players in my division who I actually like, and like, truly, it's hard to hate the Padres because they have so many guys I like on that roster. But we're playing them tonight. This means war. This is our last series with them for a long time, so I'm the Diamondbacks kind of front-loaded their schedule with a bunch of games with the Dodgers and Giants. Dodgers and Padres. Big brain moves because they both are not good April teams. But you know what? Like with Tatis, I'm interested to hear you guys because I love the showboating in baseball. I love the bat flips. I love the spiking of the bat, watching home runs. It makes the game fun. I want to see how he adjusts to the pitch clock, but then again, he did try it in the majors. I am just excited to have one of baseball's best superstars back. Now, him in right field is going to be fucking interesting. He does have a cannon, but I'm going to tell you from watching Ketel Marte's transition from shortstop to center field, back to second base, dude, it's night and day trying to read a ground ball, especially in Chase Field where that half dome, when the roof's open kind of setup, that ball gets lost up there sometimes. But it's going to be fun seeing Tatis back. I'm actually excited to watch that game tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like you said, he's one of the more polarizing players in baseball, and people are gonna see him as a villain now. And I mean, that's what the game needs. You need like a super villain. Yeah, what he did sucked. I don't know if I agreed with him. I guess getting to play in AAA while he was suspended, I felt like that was kind of weird. But I mean, when you got a shortstop who's one of the best players in the game, I think he'll be fine at right field. Because usually when you play in shortstop, growing up, I mean, until you get to the bigs, obviously, but the shortstop's typically the best player on the field. So I think they just go out there, feel some ground balls, and if he sucks, they'll find somewhere else for him. He'll just DH or something.
Yeah, I love Tatis as well. I don't mind the showboating, the bat flip, and everything. I just think it makes the game fun. I mean,
that's what makes him fun to watch too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
His swing is so fucking clean, by the way. We talk about how clean that swing is.
Yeah.
That's like
It's like
that's
Ken
right
Griffey
next to
Jr.
Otani, clean.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
but-
righties don't have the cleanest swings of all time. This dude it's like butter.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, obviously you got to get this guy in the game somehow, and this is just one of those moments where the Padres are just full of talent. What the fuck is this not working? The Padres are just full of talent where you got to work them in somewhere. So, I mean, you got Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. Obviously, it's going to take a lot.
Let's go down the list of this lineup that Ryan Nelson, the Diamondbacks, Drew Davis, the Diamondbacks upstart shorts pitcher has to go against tonight. Tatis, Soto, Machado, Cronenworth, fucking Xander Bogaerts. That's just the middle of their lineup.
That's a lot of superstars.
You look at like the infield; it's just like Jake Cronenworth and Nelson Cruz at first. You got Haas-Kim Kim you got Kim at second. You got Machado at third. Bogaerts at short, and then You got obviously Soto in the outfield, but it's funny because you put him at right, and there's 2 currently active right fielders, so he makes 3. There's only one active right fielder that's an actual like right fielder. Like Rougned Odor and Tatis are the backups. I'm looking at the depth chart right now. They are the backup right fielders, and none of them are outfielders. So it's just a matter of like they've literally just given him.
Who's the third one actually is?
Jose Azocar.
Oh, okay.
But it's just feel like they're just like, listen, we're gonna have to throw you in somewhere. We're putting you in this one position that doesn't have really many people in the outfield to play, and it's just. But you gotta put him in somewhere. It's like when the Yankees were trying to throw Miguel Andujar in there when he was hot, but it just adds a star power. I mean, they went deep into the playoffs last year, about second round, I believe. But somebody like Tatis can get them over that hump and get them deeper in there. So this is perfect timing for them. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
I'm excited to see how teams pitch them because listen, we have seen with your Yankees that in the I'm sorry, not the Rangers. The Rangers lineup from 2011, the Astros last couple of years, you could have a murderer's row lineup, but you can catch an L if a team gets hot.
I mean,
like,
baseball's.
Go.
Oh.
Oh, Chet, you glitching out like hell. There you go. I was gonna say, Chet, you want to go on this one?
Oh, I started talking and then y'all were just staring at me with like blank face. I was like, man, I guess that was stupid of me to say. What I was saying was like, you were talking about teams getting hot. I mean, baseball is all about momentum. You look at, I would throw back college baseball because that's really what I mostly watch. I watched, for example, LSU was down like 8-4 in the 8th inning. Dude hits a grand slam. They hit a 2-run double. Boom. Game. They win the game in the 9th inning. It's just like all about when you can get hot, even during a season or just during a game. Mm-hmm. It's like, and the thing I love about baseball is it's never over until that last pitch is thrown. Mm-hmm. Like you could be down 15 runs in one inning. Well, guess what? That team scored 15 runs. Oh, yeah. You could also score 15. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But you got the chance to do it. So.
My favorite thing I love about like the sport of baseball is one thing I try to put people on is like, listen. As much as it can get a little slow, the pitch clock, all the rules about the blocking and the throw, the pickoffs, takes all the slowness out of the game. Now you got guys actually having to rush their shit. And like the game could change. Like last night, Max Scherzer got tossed.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about
an ego trip.
I thought that was kind of bullshit.
Oh, it's dumb as fuck. I love it though for the simple fact that like I love that it's controversial. Also, we just know MLB umpires fucking suck. We hate umpires. Oh, Matt, can we do we need to do when we do our merch line that's dropping during the summer for Corner Booth. I think I hate umpires should be on top of the list.
I'm down with that. Or just get Angel. I know we can't, but we get Angel Hernandez's face and just shove him on the middle of it.
He'd sue us.
I know.
Hey, just make him like cross-eyed or something. It's not really him. It's somebody else. We'll figure it out. I feel like it might just be me, but I feel like between MLB and college baseball this year, the umpires have been on a huge power trip. Like in college baseball, yeah, I just have really noticed it this year in college baseball. At least it's like they don't let the teams come out of the dugout after a home run. You have to stay, or you can't come like within a certain proximity of the field. You have to stay at the edge of the dugout. Bat flips, the umpire will pull you aside mid-jog down first base. He'll chase you and talk to you while you're like around in first. We had a guy for LSU because with the pitch clocks, the pitcher was trying to quick pitch him, and he threw 2 quick pitches, and he tried to quick pitch him on a third. He called time. Next pitch, he hit it 450 dead center, and as he hit it, he bat flips and he's screaming "fuck you" to the pitcher, and like you can see it clear as day. So the umpire didn't like that very much, but they surprisingly didn't kick him out. But I don't know. I think it's
college baseball's a chip.
Yeah, it's huge, like egotistical this year with just umpires on both sides.
See, my favorite thing is like one thing I'm also happy that Matt. We'll circle back to Mad Bum quick because he's the anti-Tatis. He's the one who used to throw at guys for bat flipping and shit. And I'm like, bro, don't give up a dinger. I'm so happy that fucker's gone, man. I'm just so happy. Even the Matt Patricia news doesn't make me that upset. Oh, speaking of things that irritate me, no, I was kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us from his dorm room in Norman, Oklahoma, one of the sharpest dudes I know, one of the smartest dudes I know. This boy is a Houston-born Astros fan. Don't judge him too much. He is a Patriots fan. I don't understand that. I mean, then again, I look at the Texans franchise. It makes so much sense. And he's also one of the coolest co-hosts we've ever had. Ladies and gentlemen, making his triumphant return to the corner booth after 2 weeks away, Mason Rutch.
How are we?
Oh, buddy, we're happy you're back, man.
Yeah, dude, it's
Norman,
been
Oklahoma.
very busy up here.
Storm and Norman.
Yes, sir. We actually had a couple tornadoes come through town yesterday, man. So
That's what I was telling you before the show, Jared, because I'm not too far from them. We had a tornado come through earlier before the show started. I looked outside and my truck's getting nailed with hail. I was like, what the hell is all this about? We don't have this in Houston, but now I'm out here like near Dallas. So,
Yeah. In me and Matt in the Northeast, we get hurricanes and lots of hurricanes.
yeah.
And they slam into, and the problem is we have like old infrastructure. So it's not like Florida where the shit's actually built to withstand like winds and shit. Like we had a hurricane mixed with a tornado back in 2020. It leveled an entire half of my town's like main strip road. And it looked like somebody lit off an artillery barrage. Like there was trees on fire, trees and telephone poles cut in half, parts of houses missing. It was wild. Yeah, fuck
That's
it.
weather. That's Mother Nature.
Could be worse. You could live in California, have a terrible economy, get earthquakes, and have Gavin Slickback Newsom as your governor. Let me drink my redneck beer and enjoy that. So Mace, we were talking about how my Diamondbacks dropped Mad Bum and also that Tatis makes his return tonight. Any comments on those two before we move on?
yeah, man. I mean, I've been following Astros baseball, but I have not really kept up with just like the state of the whole league. But I mean, obviously that's huge for San Diego. I mean, I feel like in terms of rosters, they easily have the best roster on paper, much better than the Yankees, I'd say. But, you know, kind of came up short last season.
Are you trying to just take a dig at Matt's Yankees right now?
Oh, I mean, I don't. Yeah, Matt. I think Matt knows I don't like any New York team at all.
That's
but
fair.
Fair enough. All
We
right.
talk about them.
Before you get off, because I want you to understand, Mason, how bad and why I'm so happy about Mad Bum. Matthew, will you please read off Mad Bum stats for Mason?
Oh,
I want a live reaction here. We're
So
getting
when-
Mason center screen. I want a live reaction to Mason right now.
All right,
You got
Mason. This is very bad. So
Let's hear
this year alone, he is 0-3 as a starter with a 10.26 ERA. He has given up, and that's in 4 starts. He's 0-3. He's pitched 16.2 innings. That's very important to know. That's not a lot of innings for 4 starts. 25 hits, 19 earned runs, 4 home runs, and this is the kicker: 15 walks. 15 walks
Yeah, man.
in 4 starts.
just a shell of himself. I mean, really.
He only has 10
Um,
strikeouts, so that average is like that's less than three strikeouts to start.
Now you see my pain.
What did you
Every
say the earned
4
runs were? Was that
fucking
19?
days.
Is that what you said?
Yeah,
19 earned runs
Jeez. That's bad.
and
Yeah, man.
15
I mean-
15 walks. That's 4 less walks than he's got earned runs.
I retweeted my
Yeah,
own tweet about
that's no
DFA,
good,
and
man.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's tough,
Absolute
man.
worst signing in our franchise's history. This is worse than Yasmani Tomas, who cost us Paul Goldschmidt staying for his career. So this is just as bad. This man has
Very
robbed us.
tough.
Oh my god, fucking brutal, man. Like, how could you be this like I said this before, Mace, before we move on. Like I said, like look at like Zach Greinke, who basically reinvented himself as a pitcher when his fastball dipped, right? Mad Bum said, fuck it. I'm gonna grunt harder, yell at kids for doing bat flips, and fuck it. He's
Yeah,
like
dude,
the
I
grumpy old
mean-
man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Astros have been able to sort of, have this, I guess it's probably coming up on 7 years now of this sort of like continued success without really signing like any big name free agent, man, and paying them a lot. Like, Verlander, when they traded for him, did not really have much on his contract. Then they kept re-signing him to 1-year deals because of the injuries. And pretty much everyone who's on that squad who's come through, and there's been multiple pieces that have come and gone. But I mean, when you look down their roster and you look at the regular starters and the pitching staff, there's not really any massive like free agent signings where they're just paying dudes insane, amounts of money. And I feel like that's kind of the route that you have to take, man. Like the route that the Padres are taking, just spend huge on just like a ton of free agents and just try to go all out. Like it'll eventually, I think, crash and burn.
Oh, you're
We
Mike
lost
again.
you, Jared.
It's the mic
You
again.
muted.
Fuck! Every
You keep pressing
time.
that button. Sound like you were saying something good too.
Oh, speaking of crashing and burning, let's talk about the Oakland Athletics.
What are they going to Vegas now? Is that
The
what?
Las Vegas Athletics.
Yeah.
It's
That doesn't
happening.
sound right. That doesn't sound right.
Dude, even the
You know what's gonna happen?
Athletics-
They're gonna wind up playing in like the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium for a few years, and it'll be like old times again in another state.
Oh my god, it'd be fucking great. And they're still gonna get beat by 40.
And the owner for the Athletics that came out, he's like richer, or he's more rich than like half the owners in baseball. He's like worth like $2.6 billion. They're like, yeah, it's not the team's fault. It's just the fact that the owners want to spend money.
This is why the Diamondbacks are getting sold, because the owners are cheap fuck. He doesn't want to spend money. So they're like, there's like 6 guys in Arizona who want to buy him out because they're like, dude, we have the 5th biggest market. Like Oakland, California is not a monster. It's like a mid to high tier market. Like the A's could spend money if they wanted to. They just don't.
They're not even making a big stadium, so they're looking to buy. They're finalizing a deal to buy a 49-acre site where they're going to plan to build a stadium close to the Vegas Strip with a capacity of 30 to 35,000 seats.
Think they'll have blackjack tables in the stadium?
Oh, I fucking love
great.
that. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll make a trip to go see the Athletics play.
We gotta call them like the Las. We gotta call them like the Las Vegas Gamblers. They gotta have some new.
They gotta
name
change the
change.
name.
They're saying they have a
The problem is
relocation.
like the A's are an institution. Like
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
problem.
That's the thing, Jared, is just like, I mean, yeah, they haven't been good recently in what? I mean, as long as I can remember watching baseball, the A's have not really been like sort of in World Series contention, but I mean,
2000,
they've definitely had teams, what? I mean, they had Mark
when
McGuire,
you were
Jose
like an
Canseco.
infant, when you were an infant.
Yeah.
When you were an infant, like when me and Matt were like babies. Like
You guys are
yeah,
now
01 through
13.
05, dude, they had the most loaded pitching staff of all time.
Oh yeah,
It
David
was
Justice down there.
it was Zito, Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson, Jason Azeringhausen. Like they had dudes. If you haven't seen a 12-6 curveball coming out of a lefty's hand, and so you see Barry Zito drop a hammer on somebody, holy shit! This dude only hit about 90 on his fastball, but that 12-6 curve would make you swing into your freaking shoes, man. And Mark Mulder had like a dirty ass slider, and Tim Hudson may have been had the best like changeup of my childhood.
Yeah,
They found these guys.
their relocation plan is going to cost them possibly around $500 million. And the stadium that they're building, the average MLB stadium capacity currently is about 42,675. And they're going to build a stadium that's got anywhere from 12 to 8,000 less than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they spent all that money to relocate.
Yeah.
Yo, facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird situation because, like y'all said, I mean, the A's are one of, like, I feel like the very iconic franchises in the game, man. But just it seems like from what I see in here that it's just like the city of Oakland is just not willing to build that new stadium, man. Like, under any sort of, like, circumstances.
Dude, they're gonna
Oh,
lose
no.
much like job revenue, and I'm sure it brings a whole bunch of jobs to the city. I never understood like why they just won't pony up and pay for it.
Yeah.
I feel like it pays off in the long run, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you think about all of the teams that have moved out of Oakland, the Raiders, the Athletics now, the Warriors moved from Oakland to San Francisco not that long ago. I guess that's the three major ones, but it's just like now you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like the A's were the last team to be in Oakland, and now they just literally have nothing.
You know what kills me about this is like Oakland. I know Oakland's been a dying city for a long time. It's like one of the every part of the country is one city that's just taking a serious L, and unfortunately for the West Coast, it's Oakland. Like you have the Bay, even San Francisco's dying. That's just because of poor leadership skills. Like Oakland's been dying since Tupac was calling it home. So it's unfortunate that they lose the Raiders, they lose the fucking Warriors, and they last
that's
Athletics
three
now.
major sports teams in the last 15 years that have left the city.
Yeah, I'd say last
Like 10?
5. Raiders only been in Vegas for like 4 years.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, and I just got used to calling it like the Las Vegas Raiders, so we'll see how
I
long
still
it
call
takes
them
to call
fucking
it
Oakland. I
the
still
Las
fucking
Vegas
call them.
Athletics. I didn't make
Right?
that. Doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I wonder if they will change the name. That's an interesting idea. I bet it's. I mean, they'll probably definitely rebrand and change the colors and stuff. I bet. So I mean, maybe they just scrap Athletics completely and just roll with a new name. I mean, the other interesting part is I know MLB already committed. I can't remember by what year, but they're adding 2 more franchises. I guess I can look this up.
Did they say? Oh, I don't know if you already said this or not, but did they mention where, or just that they're adding 2 more?
No. Yeah, I'm trying to find this article here, but
Imagine Jared, the Yard Goats went pro.
Bro, let's fucking go, baby. CT on the map.
To be like, oh,
But
the
it's funny.
Diamondbacks are in town at Dunkin' Donuts Park.
Bro, we going.
yeah, have you guys seen all of this? Just the Salt Lake City bidding, there's
I've
just
heard that one.
Yeah.
which is so random, man. How is Salt
I
Lake
hate
City?
to be that guy, but dude, it is a community that really likes baseball. Okay.
Why is that the case?
I don't know, Mason, because 80% of their population
cool.
has a skin tone lighter than my wall. I'll fucking say it. Listen, it's also baseball is one of those sports where it's you can fit in a community like Salt Lake and it'll go crazy. Listen, we found out because the Utah Jazz's fans, we can't have sports with like basketball because they just say the most racist shit to basketball players apparently. So
What do you think about another team in Canada? This article
Fuck
I'm reading is
Canada.
about Montreal. adding a
until
second
Justin
team
Trudeau
up there.
gets his bullshit together, I don't want another team north of the border. Annex the Blue Jays.
I'd say Salt Lake would be cool from a stadium standpoint. Put it somewhere with some mountains in the background. Be pretty sick.
Get I don't know what their following is for baseball. It's like a Carolina baseball team.
Yeah, this
Charlotte.
is saying Charlotte,
True.
Charlotte, or Nashville, somewhere in Tennessee.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee's next one too.
And I feel like the obvious sort of destination is Austin. With the way that it's growing, with the sort of reception that the MLS team has gotten.
Yeah.
I feel like that is so. If they're not including this Athletics move as just an expansion team, and they're gonna do 2 new, just completely different I guess franchises, then I feel like Austin or Nashville has to happen.
Call it
One of the
Austin,
2 will.
Superchargers have Elon buy the team.
Yeah.
Well, at least you don't need another baseball team in Florida, New York, or Cali. So just avoid those 3. You just don't.
I'm
need
surprised
them.
that you think they'd put 3 teams in Texas.
Oh, they would.
Yeah.
Big enough.
I think they would.
It's big enough.
there are
Probably
certain states
Austin or
that
maybe even
breathe.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if San Antonio would work because it's just like the Spurs suck, man. And now that they suck, like no one cares. You know, when they were good, obviously people gave a shit, but now who knows? Who knows? I just feel like Austin, Nashville has to be the most likely.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that'd
like
be
one of
the
those
Titans and
two
the Predators.
Yeah, one of those two cities for sure. Like, will get one for sure. And then maybe they, throw, Salt Lake City or Vancouver, or like one of these other sort of like smaller markets, like a team, and see how it goes.
I mean, remember we were talking about, it was like a real thing a couple of years ago. They were talking about sports media, like, oh, the MLB's got to cut some teams. They got to go down to like 24. And it's like,
now they're expanding.
all it took was a fucking pitch clock to put baseball. Like, I don't think we've ever talked as much about baseball on a single show. Even our MLB preview, we maybe went for 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, man. Interesting. Doesn't take all night to watch a game.
Yeah.
I grew up playing baseball. Like, I love watching baseball, but like, get it in 2 hours? Heck yeah.
Yeah,
because then you draw my, sort of generation into,
right?
Because I feel like that's the sort of demographic that they feel like, is really lacking, because young people definitely care about the NFL for the most part, but that will always be king. Baseball will never touch the NFL, and neither will anything else. But I bet the statistics say that the NBA is probably second in terms of just like people under like 27 or 26 or 25 are definitely tuning into the NBA after the NFL. So it's like if they can start, taking away some of those fans from the NBA because games are shorter, then hey.
Yeah.
Because the NBA product, I think a lot of people, including just like very loyal basketball fans, are pretty fed up like right now with just the product as a whole for numerous reasons. But
we talked about it on our show with Zion, this kind of the slap in the face he gave to the New Orleans fans of, oh, I'm healthy, but I don't feel like Zion. And then he goes up there and he's like hitting windmills and reverse dunks in pregame.
For sure.
Like, I think that pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, the load management stuff, I think, is like really sort of infuriating a lot of people. And
then they're suspending John Morant for going and blowing a bag in a strip club. Like, come on, he's 22 years old?
Dude, if I had that much money, I would probably drop at least a G in a strip club. If I was John Morant, fuck yeah. I probably wouldn't have the fucking pistol hanging there, but
No, that was a bad move on his part, but like everything else. Like,
gentlemen, and a Quarter Booth podcast, we encourage responsible gun ownership. Okay?
Yeah. I think the point I was going to make was I feel like the rise in sports betting too, and like the younger generation has also shown an interest in just not even just baseball, but all sports. And then like I feel like everybody that's against the pitch clock is way older, like has been watching baseball for 50 years.
Yeah.
I think they come to a point where they're like, shit, well, these guys are going to be dead in a couple of years. Like, let's start appeasing the young ones,
Yeah.
The ones that bring their own, the ones that bring their own scoring card to the game. Like, no, thank you. I already have my own. I mean, like the most recent Garrett Cole start, the game ended at 2 hours and 15 minutes, and people were upset. They're like, "Oh, I didn't get my money's worth." I'm like, I would love to see a baseball game from 1 o'clock, end at 3, and get home by like 4:30, and I would love that. So I'm
you get the whole rest of your afternoon. Go do something.
Exactly.
Or if it's a night game, man, it's like you can set that sort of block of time. Give yourself 2.5 hours to go see a ball game. And it's like you're home by a reasonable hour if first pitch is at 6:30. Like you're not getting home, for a 7 o'clock first pitch at, 11 o'clock because the game lasted, 3.5 hours. Like,
you know what my favorite thing is? I'm going to Diamondbacks Yankees with Matt and a couple of our boys from up here in Connecticut in September. I'm excited for the game. You know what the best part is? We'll maybe go bar hopping afterward because the game's gonna be over at 9:30.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's like when me and the guys went to the LSU game last week. Game started at 6. We were sitting in the sports bar across the street at 8:30, drinking beer and eating chicken wings. Like, we normally would be there till like 10, you know?
I just think, like, it's so awesome that the MLB finally fucking got out of their own way. Like, oh, wait, guys, we made the game shorter. People are going to watch it. The funny thing is, though, the beer sales thing is my favorite issue of all time. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, you certain teams like Milwaukee and Arizona and a few others who are just saying, fuck it, we're just going to sell beer till the fucking end of the game. Fuck this shit. DUIs, who needs them?
They could team up with Uber and give out like promotional codes afterwards.
Yo, honestly, or Lyft, depending on what state you're in.
Dude, that was fantastic with the MLB. They're like, all right, because my uncle was saying it the other day that he was like, it's tough. You get up from your seat now with this new pitch clock, and you go get food, and you come back, you miss 4 innings or so. He goes, now you have Uber Eats, you can go on the app, type in your location, you can order from the concessions, and you just walk up, pick it up, and walk back to your seat, and you miss maybe 1 or 2 batters. So that's fantastic by the MLB. That takes away that issue if anybody ever were to bring that up.
Yeah, it took them a while, man, to just fix the problems that were, outdated within the game. But it's like now that they have, including, stuff like the shift, I think people are pretty 50-50 on like the shift. Some like it, some don't. But it definitely, you're going to see more like athletic plays now that that's gone. Like you're going to see way more, just crazy plays like in general from the defense than you are when there's a shift. And dudes are, there's tons and tons of just ground balls straight to just like positional players.
Yeah, it makes it a boring product.
Yeah.
Someone hits a piss missile down the first base line and the dude's standing there.
Yeah, the dude doesn't have to move. Like, he just...
I love... Like, so, like, they were talking about this with Jeff Passan on the Pat McAfee show the other day. And, like, 3 or 4 teams they're talking about who are just, like, loving the fact there's no shift are, like, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, the Rays, and the fucking Mariners. Like, they're killing these teams because you can't put 3 guys on one side of the field anymore. And now, like, you actually are getting hits. And it's great. All these teams used to just take advantage of the shift and have guys with it's. I love it. I think this is the most balanced the game's ever been. Look there's no dominant team besides Tampa Bay, but also then again, Tampa Bay had a pretty easy start to the schedule. But like, there's no dominant team in baseball anymore. Like, baseball has an amazing product.
Dude, even just an example of that with the shift not even being a thing. Joey Gallo's average is back up to 270. And he's got 4 home runs and 26 at bat.
We resurrected Joey Gallo, kids.
So I mean, the shift is good for everybody, including Joey Gallo. He's no longer batting 219 or whatever it was.
Yeah, sub 200 like last year or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Dude's just he's literally like unplayable. Like you can't even just like put him in the lineup, man, because he's an automatic out like every time.
My favorite one was he had a press conference and he was talking about DJ LeMahieu, and he was like, I don't know how that guy does it, how he just hits the ball and it stays in play and he gets on base. He's like, that's just not how I play, and that's not how I'm going to play. And it was like 2 weeks later, I think he was released. I think that was when Cashman sat down and was like, we got to get rid of this guy. Or they traded him to the Dodgers for probably pennies. But after that conference, I was like, I couldn't believe I heard a Major League Baseball player say, I'm not going to adjust my game. I'm not going to get on base. I'm going to swing for the fences or I'm going to strike out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all set. I already have like 5 of those guys on my team. I don't need a 6th.
I just love the fact that now, like, I literally can, like we said, I can turn on a game. I can put X. I could literally play 5 games of Call of Duty and literally during the innings play game, turn it off, watch the inning. Like, I can do a whole thing. The other night, Diamondbacks were playing the Marlins. We ended up losing, but I literally had my screen split, and I kept switching it off when the innings were going. Watch the inning, play a game of Call of Duty, come back. Oh, I missed them pitching for 5 minutes. Fuck it, whatever. It worked the entire game. It was awesome. So I was like, this is great. Like, actually, I probably watched. The only thing is, like, I'm trying not to spend the $140 it costs just to watch my team play. Thank God to those sites that we will not tell the MLB where to find them, because those sites are the real American heroes.
That is true.
All right, I think we've exhausted baseball enough. We got about 15 minutes before we start talking football. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Mike Breen. I need to get like a video graphic of somebody hitting a three-pointer for that one. NBA playoffs have been fucking ripping. Besides the fact my Timberwolves are like a lame duck getting beat down by a 7'4" Serbian who can't jump, and Jamal Murray, who's I thought his Achilles was looking like Swiss cheese. The NBA playoffs have been great. LeBron lost to a jawless freaking Grizzlies. The Heat lost to a Giannis-less Bucks. Kawhi's missing Game 3. I love drama, and the NBA is delivering this year. Can we last year's NBA playoffs were really fun. These are fun too. I'm very impressed. NBA, good product this year.
I think I hate to say it because I'm not a LeBron fan, but I feel like they're going to figure out a way to make a run because his time is kind of like ticking. And I wouldn't say it's ticking in the LA, but when's the last time he's gone deep besides the Mickey Mouse years?
I think that's the reason he won't. I think the biggest kicker is the fact that you're going to get Ja back for Game 3 or 4. The Lakers should have taken Game 2. The fact that
they didn't capitalize. That's for
that
sure.
was their shot to take out Memphis. I think the problem is Ja will be back for Game 3. Even if he's only 60%, that's still better than 50% of the guys in the Lakers. And the craziest thing is now, the West is just going to beat the shit out of each other, and Boston or Milwaukee is going to just walk right up to the finals and smoke whoever makes it.
Right. Exactly right, Jared. You're exactly fucking
Oh my god.
right.
This is the worst. It's like last year. I think it was 2 years ago. The AFC or the NFC and the NFL was brutal, and the NFC had one good team. And by the time they got to the Super Bowl, that one good team was all rested. And I think it was the Chiefs. The Chiefs got smoked by Tampa Bay. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, shit. Tampa just had to beat Rodgers and the boys, and they were in the Super Bowl.
I did see the comments and everything from Dylan Brooks on LeBron, and all I could think of when I saw that was LeBron in my head being like, and I took that personally. So I'm like, I feel like he might kick in his
bulletin board material.
That's not board material. LeBron ain't that dude. I only have to prove wrong, but through his entire career, he has been as soft as melted mutts. Okay? Yeah. Oh, his headband came off. Dude, if he lost, listen, that, like, his crowning achievement of competitiveness was those last two games against the Warriors. But that was because the entire country was rooting for him not to have a Warriors three-peat. Because everyone fucking hates the Warriors except for Warriors fans. That was the only time LeBron, because LeBron was the hero. Now everyone's fucking sick of LeBron. Everyone's like, oh, I'm doing this for Kobe. Fuck you. Like, you're not doing this for Kobe. You're doing this for your fucking ego, you fucking loser. Like, I'm a Kobe boy. So, like, the thing is, like,
I will say, man, in defense of the Lakers, I don't know who here is familiar with any of the statistics of the Grizzlies when they play without Ja, but they are like quite undefeated. Yeah, they're quite literally like better. And it's not like this sample size is like 15 games. Like, it's over 50 games.
Oh, no, they are like, they're a good team.
I mean, they're still obviously very good when he's on the floor. You know, they have the best home record in the league, both conferences. But, yeah, I mean, the statistics literally show that, you know, when he is not playing, the Memphis Grizzlies are like a better team in almost every single like measurable statistic, probably besides dunks, like dunks and just crazy. Like, you know, almost made dunks, like missed dunks,
missed posters. It's kind of crazy to think that because he's such a good player, but they figure it out when he's not there.
I mean, they're just deep, man. Like their
Yeah.
bench is very good. I mean,
dogs.
yeah, man. Like you
Dogging
think
them,
about
man.
like their literal like 7th, 8th, 9th dude. You know, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th player who comes off the bench. They all come in and they are very, very just like productive, good at doing their job. You know, all those guys play great defense. And I want them to just like make a run, man, because all of the jaw chatter I think is just so stupid. Like, you know, finding this dude like unlikable or cocky, but you know, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Nixon 6.
What? I don't know, man. I glitched. I heard you go, what? I'm like, what?
Oh, I was like Nixon 6. I was like, what?
Stop. Stop. It's for the land, baby. I'm all about John and the boys getting them dubs. The Knicks, I rooted for the Knicks so hard that I think it was the bubble year or the year after the bubble when Julius Randle led that ragtag group of just nobodies. And it was awesome. Now it's just like, Knicks fans are fucking annoying.
Just like all New York fans, I might add.
All New York fans. And
Yeah.
Chet will be back after a brief message from his sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. It's an OG3 right now. Subi's apparently supposed to be here in about 20 minutes. I'm not holding my breath. Listen, if he stops by, awesome. I hope y'all are ready for your top 10 bust list. I got mine.
Oh, I have a controversial number 1.
Oh, my number 1's easy because he plays for my favorite team right now.
This is
Top
facts
10
as well.
Top 10 NFL, just like all-time bust or what?
That we wish worked out. Like bust that we wanted to work. There was a couple on this list that just broke my heart because I wanted them, and like some of them were just like disgusting and Madden, but they were just terrible in real life.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll just react to y'all's or something.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's all good, man. Listen, Mace, I know it's with your college schedule, getting you on and being able to have you do the shows right now is crazy, but I know you got 2 weeks left.
I think it's maybe, let's see here, looking at my calendar. Yeah, 3 weeks, man.
Do we get
crazy.
you lit as fuck when you're done with classes?
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah, Lit Mason is a menace to society, and that's what makes me happy.
Come on, man.
No, it's a good thing, man. Because listen, we talked about this before. My cousin listens to my show, and he goes, "Listen, I love your co-host Matt because he's so even keel, and Mason has these little snarky quips, and I love him because he's real. You can tell the kid's got a good head on his shoulders. And then you, motherfucker, I'm like, what, me? And he goes, dude, you're dynamite wrapped in gasoline, rolled in C4. I'm like, that's how I've always been. You grew up with me. I am literally chaos personified. I literally won a show with a PG rating and dropped an F-bomb within the first 30 seconds of me being on the show. They're like, hey, introducing for the Korner podcast, host Jared Clem. Hey, guys, happy to be here. We're going to have a fucking great show today. And the guy just goes, damn it. That's who I am. And you know what, Mason? This is why I love, because when you get unhinged, it's like DJ when he drops one of those haymakers out of nowhere. You're just like, wait, what? I love the shock value. By the way, DJ is not here because he's on vacation. It was his birthday yesterday, folks. So a little happy birthday to DJ, the honorary fourth member of the Korner booth. Pregame. He told me, he goes, my girl said I has to come out for my birthday. I can't do podcasts. But
Mason,
yeah,
if you need help thinking of some draft bust, Dominic Easley, N'Keal Harry are 2 I can think of off the top of my head. If you need help, I'm just trying to help. I'm not trying to, dig.
I totally
Cross-eyed
misread your
Dowling.
text, Jared. I got 1 draft bust in the top 10 draft picks. Is what I came with.
Hey, listen, we'll make you go last if you want to think of some, man. I'll let you go last because Mason's gonna be our judge.
I'll think
today.
of a few.
Yeah.
Mason's already gonna say I lost because I just made that comment about Ross-eyed Dowling and N'Keal Harry.
Well, the thing about N'Keal is just I agree, and that pick just infuriated me when it happened, man. When I saw that live, I was infuriated because obviously we can all look back at that draft and look at all of the receivers that were taken probably in the first 3 rounds or so. And if the Patriots would have selected literally any other receiver, I mean, they would have a elite sort of like player. Very frustrating, man.
I think it's even better that they flipped him, even though he was a first rounder. That the fact that they got a draft pick for him anyways, like years later from Chicago, it doesn't matter what it was. It was just the fact that they still got compensation for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hilarious, dude. Because in all reality, I mean, I guess they did get DJ Moore, so DJ Moore will be the wide receiver 1. But I mean, Harry, if he's healthy, man, when he's on the field, if they don't take a wide receiver with that 9 pick or something, he'll probably be their WR2, to be honest.
Fair enough. So we actually have a quick announcement before we get into the NFL draft stuff. USFL announcers from Fox and NBC. Actually, some good guys. We got Kurt Menefee, Joel Klatt, Brock Heward, Mark Sanchez. Not bad from the Fox side. Those are the notables. From the NBC side, we have Mason's long-lost brother, Jack Collinsworth. We have Cam Jordan, Colt McCoy, Kyle Rudolph, Mike Robb, and Jason Garrett. Also, and Paul Burmeister, who, by the way, low-key slaps as a commentator.
This is for USFL? Is that what you're saying?
USFL, which I'm going to give a fair shake because, honestly, the XFL has put together a good product this year. I've probably watched a grand total of about 20 USFL games this year, and I'm very proud of myself for that because I watched about 2 before the Uncle COVID killed it, and it's honestly been fun. I've actually been very entertained with it. My grandmother loves football. It's her favorite thing to watch at 90 years old, and she loves the USFL because she doesn't have to watch basketball or baseball. She can just watch that on Sundays. Also, shout out to female commentators. Zara Stevenson and Caroline Pineda are also going to be on the call, so gotta give a shout out to the ladies. Listen, the other day, somebody asked me, they're like, would you be okay if there was like a female, like Aaron Andrews got on the call for like a game? I'm like, no, dude, she's great. Like, everyone talks about this shit. Like, I'd love for Fran from Barstool to call the fucking Barstool Bowl. Like, there are some, like, I think the problem is they talked about I think we did this once last offseason, Matt. We ranked announcers, right? I think we ranked announcers, like who our favorites were, who our worst. Like, I love Collinsworth. I know I'm in the minority here. I like Joe Buck. I like Joe Buck's emotion. Joe Buck, when there's a big call, like when Stephon Diggs in the Minnesota Miracle, dude, that's like electric factory. I also was watching with my father, who's a Vikings fan, so like he was losing his fucking shit. But, you know, my team just got a ticket to play whoever wins this game. I'm watching this live and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Or I love Al Michaels too. We all know about my favorite sports commentator of all time. He's about to do our introduction for our next one. But I don't know. I'd be okay with hearing some female commentators going forward. But of course, because, you know, we've got well, nope. Okay. YouTube sucks, and I hate it so much. If you don't like Gus Johnson, you're un-American. I hate you. But ladies and gentlemen, well, oh yeah, Mason doesn't like Gus Johnson.
I have a particular friend, man, who is like obsessed with him, in an unhealthy way. He thinks he's like the best commentator, bar none. College, NFL, doesn't matter what sport, and it just it sickens me, dude. When I have to hear this dude like talk about how good Gus Johnson is, man, I hate him.
Okay, so like my favorite call of his of all time was my boy Jalen Hurts dropping a dime to CD to beat Texas. That's like my favorite call of all time.
No,
How
I
do you
mean,
not
look,
love that shit.
No, it's not that I don't love his calls, because every single big name commentator has like big calls that are good. Obviously, it's just sometimes his sort of. It feels like his sort of excitement is just kind of forced. It's like, I don't know.
I feel like if you love college football that much, I live on the edge of my seat. But as a Hurricanes fan, I suffer every Saturday due to crappy recruiting and the fact that our program under Manny Diaz and Al Golden and Mark Rick, love you, Mr. Mark. You gave us a winning season, 2 winning seasons. I live on the emotion for college football. College football, I think, has a lot more emotion than the NFL. NFL is just stressful to me because, like, I wanted to see my team win and nobody get hurt. Let's get on to the next week. So I like Gus Johnson a lot. I obviously, because he's our new football intro and I got to rework some of the graphics for it. That's why I just do the sound right now. But I love Gus. I love the energy when there's a breakaway play. I'm like fucking amped. I don't give a fuck about Iowa football, but when fucking he drop a touchdown pass 1 out of every 40 games because Iowa football doesn't know how to score a point on offense, like I'm fucking hype as shit. Like I like it that way though, I guess.
Hey man, he definitely has his good calls. I won't be unfair. I mean, he's got the iconic calls for sure.
There's just some announcers like I do like Chris Fowler for ESPN. Like I know he's just kind of like very vanilla, but dude, like he does good. He does good games. Some of those ESPN 2 and 3 commentators that you get for like the mid-range games, or dude, oh my
ESPN
God,
Plus,
ACC,
dude.
ACC
ESPN
Network
Plus,
guys,
man.
ACC
It is
Network
bad,
guys
dude.
are fucking awful. Oh my God, like fuck, just put me, Chet, and Mason and Matt out there. We'll fucking do it. We'll have Chet be the sideline guy. We'll have Chet be the
watching a baseball game. It was rough, bro. South Carolina Gamecocks with their commentators.
College baseball commentators are fucking terrible.
You know who's some really bad? Like, you ever watch like those baseball games on like Apple TV? And
Yes, Matt. Yes.
Those Apple TV people are so bad.
Apple TV can't recruit to save their fucking life, man. It's brutal.
Yeah, Matt, I'm very glad you remembered that, man, because I legitimately think now that you bring it up, that might, because they have multiple crews, because usually they do like a double header. They'll do like an early evening game and then like a West Coast game or whatever. And I haven't tuned in at all to any of them this season, but if it's the people from last year,
I think it still is the same people because Apple doesn't adjust that fast.
Yeah, so it's now that you bring it up, Matt, I think those crews might be the worst commentary people, any sport, any channel, like does not matter. I think they might be, man, for me.
And I don't know if anybody.
Where they go ahead.
I was gonna just say I don't know if anybody remembers the answer. I don't remember who was the crew, but whoever did last year's home run derby also.
Oh, fucking awful.
That was they didn't even know it was a home run.
I put it on mute. The only reason I kept it on because I had money on the fucking thing, but I put that shit on mute. I was done with it.
I just remember they literally had no idea that it was a home run or not. I was just like, this is really
it out? Is it out? Dipshit, you're in the stands. You tell me.
They're like, I don't know if it went out. Did it? They're like, I think so.
See, this is where like I think they should send the belly up boys out. Like, have me.
That's what I was just about to say.
Have me, Chet, and fucking what's his face? Who's that motherfucker with all the fucking energy? Have me, Chet, and goddamn Scott from Craft Brew do and Mookie and Matt and Mason be like the sideline reporters. We'll fucking get ratings. Are you kidding me?
Belly Up needs to get in on sponsoring a bowl game this year.
Hell yeah. We'll put in. Listen, we'll put in for the Champ Sports Bowl or the fucking Pinstripe Bowl because it's like.
Hey, I'm still trying to get the Duke Mayo Bowl to get back to us. They followed us on TikTok and Twitter. Have been like commenting on our videos.
Oh shit!
Trying to get some mayo dumped on my head for some press passes.
I'm trying to get myself on the fucking Sports Scramble Bowl. A Sports Scramble show. And I never get an invite. I was playing.
We got to get you on there, man.
Just play it. Listen, I'm always available for going on podcasts, man. I love going on people's pods because you know why? I don't got to produce them after they're done. Oh my God. After doing over 350 fucking podcasts between live shows recorded and doing other people's, like I have more tread on my tires than anybody. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk NFL draft busts to finish the show. So, myself, Matt, and Chet have all prepared lists of our top 10 favorite draft busts. Chet's got 4 for me. He's going to work his way up to 10 by listening to me and Matt's lists. So, without further ado, I will go first since I am the host and I have the best beard. Actually, no, Matt kind of beats me. See, this is the problem with Matt. Matt's beard has been that great since we were in college, Mine just started looking as good like a year ago. So,
Fun fact: I went to the I was shopping for tuxedos over the weekend and for my wedding, and the guy was like, "Oh, are you a bow tie or a tie guy?" I was like, "I love bow ties." He's like, "I wouldn't recommend it." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "You're not going to see it." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like,
yeah.
I was a priest for this past Halloween. I looked like a college grad because you couldn't see the collar.
There you go. All right. Starting off, I have one honorable mention. I fucking hate this guy's guts because he blames Philadelphia for all of his problems, but the dude just could not separate in the pros. Jalen Reagor, explosive playmaker at TCU, but the problem was he was the only playmaker at TCU. I should have seen that when I looked at his fucking tape. The only other playmaker on that roster was a very, very young Quentin Johnson. Number 10, Javid Best, Detroit Lions. This dude's brain is more jelly than Tua's. Dude, running the Wildcat with him in Madden 12 was broken. This guy was explosive as shit. Number 9, staying with the running back department, Trent Richardson. Listen, T-Rich was a dog in fucking college, man.
I watched him break my heart live in Tiger Stadium.
I know exactly what game you're talking about too. I was about to I was looking at my LSU commitment fucking my application and shit. Look who fucking showed up. Resident Jets fan, our preacher, Mr. Ryan McCarthy.
Oh man, if he sticks by a little bit, he'll enjoy my list.
Yeah, shout out to No Credentials Required, by the way. Had a great guest from Barstool on this week. You haven't checked it out, check it out. It's on their YouTube and on their podcast feed. I love T-Rich because T-Rich looked like an unstoppable running back, and then he forgot how to run for a whole college. Dude, he also fucking was great his rookie year.
Yeah.
He got traded to the Colts and everything fell apart. Number 8 is Taylor Mays. A lot of you don't remember this guy. He was a 6'3". Imagine Cam Chancellor that ran a 4.4. Yeah. Dude was a rocket and used to deck dudes over the middle in college. But he went to the Bengals and kind of fizzled out on those shitty teams for Andy Dalton. Number 7, RG3. Listen, he played for a rival team, but I loved watching him fucking ball out. This dude had pinpoint fucking accuracy. Ran a 4.4, was great. And fucking Mike Shanahan hates black quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I heard it in my head.
Whoa. I'll take Thursday.
I just said fuck it. No, I was kidding. Mike Shanahan, I will take that back. This is not slander. Mike Shanahan does not hate black quarterbacks. He just hates quarterbacks named Robert Griffin III. So RG3's knee, man, that killed me. I rooted so hard for him to get a comeback when he played for the Ravens. But listen, he's a good commentator. He's funny as shit on TikTok. I'll give him that. Number 6 is a tie, actually. Number 6 is a tie between Marquise Goodwin and Dre Archer. Two of the fastest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life in college, and both didn't do shit in the pros. Marquise, if you played for Philly in 2020, you wouldn't have done shit anyway because Carson Wentz could hit the broadside of a barn. So you may have lucked out opting out that year. But listen, Marquise got hot with Seattle this year, and I got all amped as fuck. And then he died off because DK and Lockett came back. I love Marquise Goodwin's game. And Dre Archer, this motherfucker was just so goddamn fast. Number 5. I actually think I put 11 here by mistake because apparently I can't count. So I'm going to tie them. Number 5 is a tie between Dennis Dixon and LaMichael James, two of my favorite Oregon Ducks. These motherfuckers were so much fun to watch. The only Oregon Duck running back that ever succeeded was Super Bowl champ for the Philadelphia Eagles, LeGarrette Blount. I love Dennis Dixon's game, man. He was accurate. He had a cannon. He could throw the ball. He was the first time I ever watched Oregon football live. He was crazy. LaMichael James was just pure explosiveness. He honestly, in today's NFL, would have been elite and probably a star. But the problem is, back when he came to the draft, you still needed to be looking like Frank Gore. Number 4, Vince Young. All my Texas people, all my people who grew up watching Vince Young play, this man, if it wasn't for Jeff Fisher, probably would be in a Pro Bowler multiple times. He had a great arm, wonky delivery, but hell was mobile, could get out of plays, and could just extend and make plays work. Jeff Fisher was just not the worst coach possible. Number 3, Ricky Williams, man. Just such a talented running back and so good at everything on the field and just couldn't stay off the weed. Another
Yeah, to
guy,
include
he was
the
in today's
trade
NFL.
package.
Ricky Williams be
Yep.
fine. I just think the problem is it's just, the NFL's drug testing policy is fucking bullshit, as always has been. Number 2, John
You gotta
fucking
recall
Ross.
that trade though.
Oh, yeah. John Ross, baby. This motherfucker he broke Chris Johnson's record. He was a freak athlete, and he was overdrafted as fuck by Cincinnati, and just the injuries and just the inability to run routes. There was one game, I think it was 2019, he caught 2 touchdowns and like 150 yards receiving. I got I'm like, yo, John Ross is back, baby. He's here. And now he's like a 4th stringer on the fucking New York Giants' bum rush team. Number 1, Marcus Mariota. Man,
That's I didn't think about that one.
just a raw deal, bro. The problem with Marcus, he went to the wrong system, wrong coach. Mike Vrabel's a great coach. Mike Vrabel needs a quarterback who's built like a fucking Marine, and Marcus Mariota is a soft boy. Mariota is probably going to get a ring where he plays now as a backup. All I'm saying is, because he's a backup for Jalen Hurts in the Philadelphia Eagles, but I love Marcus Mariota's game in college, man. He was so much fun to watch. The way he could extend plays, make accurate throws. He looked like a pocket. He was very similar to RG3, where he was a pocket passer, but he could just make runs, and he would just dominate games. He was just so much fun to watch at Oregon in 2014. And, I watched him go to the Titans, and I knew off the rip, Mike, he's not going to work. He's not going to work. And then they got replaced by Tanner Thrill, and, rest is history. Those are my top 10 busts I wish worked out. Matthew, you're on the clock so we can give Chet more ideas.
Well, honorable mention, I'm going to throw in Deshaun Kaiser. Just a standout quarterback at Notre Dame was picked in the 2nd round with the Cleveland Browns. Supposed to be the hidden gem savior, and he just was just far from that. It was very far from that. Number 10, I actually have Jameis Winston on here. He was taken number 1 overall in, I believe, 2015. It's the 2nd quarterback to come out after going just 2 years in college. 38-48 win-loss record. He's only won 9 games in a season once in his career. He just never lived up to the number 1 hype, and I was really hoping that he was going to be the next big quarterback in the league. Number 9, I had the same as Jared. I have Trent Richardson. Was just an absolute freak in college, and then just did nothing in the pros. Actually, it looked like he was playing better in the USFL for that one half of the year, and then in his entire time in the NFL. Number 8, Kevin White, the 1st-round pick of the Chicago Bears. The same year, I believe it was the Amari Cooper draft. Was just one of the best receivers that was in the draft, and I just don't know what happened. He was just god awful. It's just the best way to put it. Number 7, Johnny Manziel was that first quarterback that I remember coming out into the draft after 2 years in college. Had that infamous drafting where they were like, he's like, I don't know, man, I have so much money in my hand after he got picked in the 1st round, and just absolutely torpedoed in Cleveland. Just I guess that's just fitting where he torpedoed, but it was just poor Cleveland, man. Deshaun Kaiser and Johnny Manziel within a handful of years. But number 6, from Jared's old stomping grounds of Oregon, Deion Jordan, was just an absolute freak in college as well, and was taken 3rd or 4th overall in Miami, and just did absolutely nothing once again. And I just thought he was going to be, I'm a Jets fan. At the end of the day, I guess I'm happy they didn't do well, obviously, but it was just the fact that I thought this guy was going to be the next just big-time defensive end in that generation. That just did not work out at all. Number 5, Josh Rosen. I was actually hoping that the Jets were going to draft him in the 1st round that year. I thought this dude was going to be the next Aaron Rodgers type thing, where he just got skipped over and they finally got taken. He was going to make everybody regret it, and he did not do that at all. Number 4, Justin Blackmon. He was just a freak wide receiver. I think everybody thought this man was going to be the next big time Megatron type guy and receiver in the NFL. I was expecting him to just be the next greatest thing, and I know there was off-field issues. I think it just never panned out, and just nobody ever really heard about him ever again. Number 3, this is when it just gets depressing on my end. Christian Hackenberg. It was great in Penn State
There are a
with
lot
it
of
was
Jets
Bill
out here,
O'Brien.
Matt. Like, you got to be real with me if there are.
I mean, you got Christian Hackenberg. I'm pretty sure his first year or so with Penn State, he was with Bill O'Brien. He was doing fine, and they changed. I think Bill O'Brien then went to Houston. The Jets, was taken probably 2 or 3 rounds too early. Never made a start in the NFL. Started in I believe it was the XFL, got benched, and that is how his career went. Number 2 was who the savior was supposed to be, Sam Darnold. I blame Adam Gase as who I blame for that. I just think he just took a promising possible talent and just torpedoed him into the ground. And now he's on his 3rd team, and he's probably about 5 years in the league. And number 1, this could be controversial, but he is my number 1. It is Zach Wilson, the other savior of this NFL franchise of the Jets. The guy that we thought was the one that was going to get it right, because the savior of this organization, Joe Douglas, was his right-hand man, and it didn't pan out. I know it's early. He's only made 2 seasons in the NFL. He has plenty of time to figure it out behind Aaron Rodgers, but he is a bust until
You gotta stay away from Wilson.
he's a bust until
I agree
he
with
wins
this,
more
by the
than.
way. I agree with this, by the way. Rob's on point. I have a weird feeling Darnold's gonna be a Pro Bowler in fucking in San Fran. Like,
I think
it works
I think
for
Sam
his
Darnold.
style of play.
He's not gonna play though, Jared. He's not gonna get snaps.
Dude,
dog.
the Brocket ship ain't coming in until fucking October.
Fucking nice.
Fucking.
I caught that was great. I'm not
Listen,
gonna-
Mace, you want to come at me? Let Matt finish his shit so Chase can get another 20 minutes.
No,
to fucking get
that
his
was-
podcast together.
That was all I had. But on his comment, I don't disagree. I think Sam Darnold is a scheme kind of guy, and I just don't think he's found his fit yet. And I think Shanahan has that type of system where it can work for a lot of people, and I think it could work for Sam. I know I've heard rumors they were shopping Trey Lance, which could make Sam the QB2, but I've also heard Brock Purdy should be coming back, maybe in the late summer or early
October.
fall. I
It's
wouldn't be
back. It's October.
but I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Darnold works at first. I mean, he usually has a good start.
It'd just be so hilarious, man, if they're in this situation for the 3rd time.
Yeah,
You know-
they got 3 quarterbacks.
Well, it's like first it
Well,
was Jimmy G, right? Who led them to an NFC championship that really, in all honesty, they should have been in the Super Bowl, man. Like that drop catch to whoever it was, I can't remember. Or no. It was an interception that someone on San Francisco dropped. But they should have been in
No,
that Super Bowl against.
it was an overthrow to Emmanuel Sanders.
Regardless, they should have been in the Super Bowl, right? He was
They were.
absolutely good enough to get them to the Super Bowl. Then you have Purdy, who led them to another NFC championship. They got blown out by the Eagles, but nonetheless, NFC chip. It was a win overall with a practice squad quarterback, a 7th round quarterback that you took. Yeah, and it would just be so perfect, man. Like if Darnold just comes into that system and just leads them to a division title, and they win like 1 playoff game or something, 2 playoff games, that'd be hilarious.
It's not getting ahead of
Here's the thing:
ourselves
is I
with
feel
Sam
like
Darnold.
Brock Purdy. I feel like the Niners system is like how to win a quarterback for dummies. Like I feel like it's like one of those little yellow books you find in the books at Barnes and Noble, where it's like how to win an NFC West title for dummies by Kyle Shanahan. All right,
Even
Get
CJ
an
Beathard
elite
did
quarter or an elite running back, have an elite defense, and then all you need is just a
Somebody can call
mid-table.
the hold on.
yo, that's what he's talking about. Jimmy Ward dropped an easy interception.
Right.
Or wait, no,
Yes.
maybe it was Davis Ward. Either way, shit. You're on the clock, buddy. What's your top 10 looking like? Did you add 10 or you got 5?
I got 5.
I like it. 5 still works. It's economical.
So starting at number 5, I got Josh Gordon. I think he was drafted by the Browns, and as a typical 420 fashion, he couldn't lay off the weeds. So I think he's playing in the XFL right now.
Dominating.
Seattle Dragons, right?
Yep. 4, you mentioned it, Matt. Josh Rosen, the hot tub king, the hot tub in his dorm room, said he was going to make everybody regret it, and I think he's the only one regretting it at this point.
Yeah.
3 was Trent Richardson, just because I watched him torch my guys at LSU and just break my heart, and then he never really panned out in the NFL. Number 2, Money Manziel. Yeah, you mentioned it again, Matt. Johnny, I had such high hopes for him. I had like a Money Manziel T-shirt that I bought when I think I was like 13 or 14.
Of course you did.
It was. I
Okay,
thought
so
I was
now
just
in your
getting
next
with it.
intro, I will mention proud owner of a Money Manziel T-shirt.
It's probably still at my parents' house. I gotta go find it next time I'm home. Actually, I think it's a tank top. It's a black tank top with
It's too early.
I picked Zach Wilson. It's not too early.
You're because Aaron Rodgers is about to be your quarterback. That's why you think it's perfect timing. Check, continue.
Number 1, biggest bust of all time. I ran into him actually in my apartment hallway. Didn't realize it till he walked away, and he asked me where the elevators were. Jamarcus Russell.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because I went to LSU, and that's where he went, and he was,
that's
a guest
right.
captain. And I'm walking down the hallway, and I see this big ass dude kind of look at me. He's got a Letterman jacket on, and I forgot who we were playing.
Of course he
was
did.
He was a guest captain. He's like, "Hey man, where's the elevator at?" And I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "Oh, it's right over there." And he walked away, and I saw him. Ended up seeing him on the bottom floor. I was like, "Are you Jamarcus Russell?" He goes, "I am." I was like, "Cool." And then he just walked away. I didn't really know what else to say to him at that point.
Okay, I'm a proud owner of a Jamarcus Russell Raiders jersey. I will not deny it. I have one. When I was like I think like 12, he got drafted by them, and you know, the Raiders being like the other team I root for because my uncle was like my second father. I picked up a Raiders Russell jersey with my allowance, and I wanted Jamarcus to work so bad because I didn't want to add him because that just hurts.
Yep.
Also, his comeback story was really cool.
The dude could hum a football, but yeah, like you said, wasn't watching film, wasn't showing up to practice. My book, probably one of the biggest busts of all time.
You know what's crazy is like the Bleacher Report did a whole comeback series for him in like 2012, and it actually was a really well done documentary. And I was like, did I really? And like the Bears gave him a tryout. And apparently he did great. They just were like, yeah, we got this guy Jay Cutler. He's kind of here.
He's the next big thing.
Yeah, right. But yo, CEH. The problem with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and this is the reason you could call my former co-host Kevin Langley. You could ask him. You could ask Mark, my former co-host before that. Why I shit on CEH was very simple, Rob. I did not like the fact that he had lacked explosiveness. His best trait was that he could catch the ball out of the backfield. And the fact that he didn't show me any shift. He had no trait other than the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield that made him a good player. That makes him a good 4th or 5th round draft pick. Not a first. See, like, Boston Scott was an undrafted free agent. Boston Scott can run between the tackles. Boston Scott can also catch the ball out of the backfield. Who's another one that is like that? Like James White.
Can you say Clyde's a bust though? Well,
yeah,
I mean, he did good his first year, but then he got hurt and he hadn't really
he can't stay healthy, and he got replaced by Isaiah Pacheco in literally like 40 seconds. Because Pacheco does everything Helaire can do.
That is true.
But then can run harder. Like, I actually feared, as an Eagles fan, during that Super Bowl, I feared Isaiah Pacheco. I did not fear Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The second I saw 34 get on the film, I'm like, we good.
Pacheco's nice, man. He is going to be
Pacheco's
nice for a while.
Dog. That boy runs like somebody stole his lunch money.
And he only cost him 6 rounds cheaper than Clyde Edwards-Helaire was.
Edwards-Helaire? Yeah.
Literally, during that 2020 draft, when they drafted Helaire at 32, I was like, dipshit.
Yeah, it was a shocker.
I was like, y'all fucking stupid. After we just drafted Jalen Reagor, and I knew we were kind of fucked. Because, like, it's like, I watched Justin Jefferson's tape, and I was trying so hard to prove that I was right. He was gonna be average, and I'm like, nah. I watched him on his first game. I watched him on tape. I'm like, man, this motherfucker's got Keenan Allen's running ability with like OBJ speed. Fuck, I'm screwed. That was my one. Like when you do draft analysis, because of course we have our draft special, our mock draft 2.0 next week on Monday. Me, Matt, and Mason will all have our mock drafts ready. 1 through 32, trades involved, the whole 9 yards.
31. Miami doesn't.
Oh yeah, fuck you,
this year.
Miami. You're ruining some kid's life by saying he can't be a first-round pick. Fuck you. What I was gonna say is that basically, you know, there's a couple times where I get like one of my best picks ever was I said, listen, I don't want Carson Wentz to fill the Eagles. I want us to draft Zeke and then take Dak in the second or third round. That was my like hot take in college. I was like, listen, I think Dak's gonna be a better quarterback than the Carson. I was right. I was wrong about Jared Goff though. I thought Jared Goff was a bust, and then I'm like, oh wait, the kid's got a good deep ball and he's accurate to a certain extent. The other wrong one I will claim though was I fucked up on Jay Jets. But I did get it right on DK Metcalf. I was screaming from the fucking rooftops that this dude was that dude. And everyone's like, I said him and AJ Brown are both gonna be Pro Bowl receivers. And everyone's like, nah, bro, it's all about like, I can't remember who the fuck the other receivers were in that class. It doesn't really matter at this point. All I know is like in that class, like N'Keal Harry, Travis Fulgham, like some weird ass fucking guys.
Was there
like,
Sega Whiteside in that draft, Jared?
I don't want to talk about it. I did not want him to be good. I wanted Howie to learn from his mistakes.
Yeah,
and he did.
I don't think you've ever name dropped him or spoken about him, but I would love to hear your thoughts on not only what your thoughts were in the moment when they drafted him, and then obviously.
Well, here's the thing. We drafted him after we drafted Miles Sanders, who I was like, yes, let's go. We got Miles. I'm like fucking guy. Like I loved Miles Sanders coming out of Penn State. I'm like, this dude he's Saquon with a quicker first step. Maybe not as much 40 times speed, but like he's like an Arian Foster version of Saquon. I was like, fuck yeah. And you know what? Listen, I would have loved us to keep Miles until I watched him choke it in the Super Bowl. Now let's go get fucking Bijan. Let's call shit a fucking day. Or Jahmyr Gibbs. Also, I'm a big Rashad Penny guy. I love his fucking tape. I honestly loved him coming out of college. I said this kid's gonna be a fucking monster. Problem is the Seattle O-line looks like me, Chet, and Matt. So,
well, I was just looking at some on Bleacher Report that you mentioned, like Bijan. He's only taken 2 visits with 2 NFL teams that I've seen so far on that notification. Number 1 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the second team was the Philadelphia Eagles. The only 2 teams that I've seen.
There's a reason
which is
I got Tampa Bay was my mock draft pick for him.
Well, I feel like Tampa's interesting, man, because I mean Rachaad White, bro, was looking very nice.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like they're more of. I think Zach Chernoblat out of Chernobal out of what did I say Chernoblat out of UCLA.
You talking about the kid from UCLA? Jared?
I think he's a perfect, or Tank Dempsey out of Auburn are perfect.
I mean, dude. If we want to talk about running back, like late round running backs outside of Gibbs and Robinson, I think the kid out of Tulane, man, could be very, very.
You're sharp, Tasha Sharp. That's my dog. He's my third-ranked running back for a big reason, because he to me is Kenny Gainwell with more physicality.
Yeah,
like he is
good, man.
He's got straight line speed. He can catch the ball in the backfield. His one word to me, Mason, is his lack of wiggle. He doesn't have wiggle. He's a straight line runner.
I mean, the thing the thing about him is like, tore it up against all of the, weak teams that they played in like the AAC or whatever. But then it's like, they obviously played USC in the bowl game and he looked
fucking tore it up.
Yeah. Like completely went off. Like, they were playing, one of these scrubby teams from the AAC. So, he's definitely capable of performing against elite competition.
Oh, yeah. I love Tajay
and
Sharp.
he's gonna fall like to the 5th round, dude. Like some teams gonna take him in
I
the 4th,
think
5th
third.
round.
I think.
Oh, you think he's gonna go that high?
They're gonna overdraft the kid at Texas A&M when he's a 5th or 6th round pick. He's
Yeah.
basically Naheem Hines. He's Naheem Hines. He is a speedy back who can catch. He's your third back on your running. He's a Boston Scott Naheem Hines. He is going to be your third guy. He is not your 1 or your 2. He is going to be able to break plays and be your rotation guy on third down. I love Robinson because Robinson ran for like 1,400 yards behind the worst offensive line I've ever seen. I went back and watched his tape because I just wanted to, right? And I started zooming in the offensive line, and I'm like, do these guys have a fucking scholarship? Like, what the fuck am I watching? They can't block anybody. Mason, you weigh what, like $170? Like, you would have ran through this O-line. Shit, same thing. I mean, I'm 240. I'm a big motherfucker. But I would have had like 10 sacks against his O-line. What the fuck was this blocking?
Yeah, Texas, it was rough.
He's making 4 dudes miss in the backfield. I'm like, what the shit?
And he did all that with the I do not know the name of the RB2 for Texas that's also in that draft.
He's going to be a 5th rounder too. He's going to be great.
Yeah, no, I mean people are high on him as well.
I think they're high on him because there's limited tape. I think he's still gonna be a good.
True.
I think he's still gonna be a good core. I think he's gonna be still a good running back, but he's gonna be. I see him more as like a great number 2, like a Jamal Williams. Like he's gonna be good, but he's never gonna be like, okay, I can rely on this guy to rack up 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But running backs this year are weird. Like the only 2 running backs I'll take in the first round are Gibbs and Robinson. I would take Robinson top 10 with Philadelphia because we can afford to take Robinson top 10. Our only other position of need is safety, and reportedly, the Arizona Cardinals may have to get rid of Budda Baker, who's apparently a big fan of Nick Sirianni. That'd be a slap in the face to Jonathan Gannon. His first season as the Cardinals head coach, his best defensive player goes, yeah, I want to go play for your former team who told you either you get hired by Arizona or you're fired.
Yeah, I think Budda Baker I think would only cost the team like a second.
I'm thinking we'd lose our second and we'd lose probably our 6th, one of our 6th.
I would do that, and then you got safeties addressed. Mm-hmm. You could take Bijan at 10 if you want.
We have to throw him a contract though, which is what worries me. But then again,
it's all fake money anyway.
I know. But listen, like watching how Howie worked that contract and then seeing it side by side with Daniel Jones, dude, I started fucking laughing hysterically. I'm like, how the fuck are the Giants this fucking stupid?
I do have very quick NFL news before we sign off.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, but the Bills did just extend their kicker Tyler Bass for about 4 years, $26 million.
Kicker news!
And the last one was Dallas did decide to pick up the 5th-year option on CeeDee Lamb.
No fucking shit. He's their only decent receiver.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon Cooks.
Man.
Brandon Cooks.
He would be my favorite receiver in the league, dude, if he wasn't on Dallas, bro. Because he was so awesome here.
Dude, I was so fucking mad when the day they drafted him because Howie Roseman apparently had his number rung up because I think it was like whoever the team was in between them. I think it was Denver. They already drafted Jerry Jeudy, so they were gonna draft like a fucking end or something, or it was some team that had no interest in receiver. And then Dallas drafts him. I'm just sitting there like,
yeah,
what? So I got to thank Dallas. Because of Dallas drafting CeeDee Lamb, the Eagles will never, ever wait for a receiver to fall to them anymore. So thank you. We went up and trade with Dallas for fucking Devontae Smith. I love it. Slim Reaper, baby. All right, Chet. We are about to sign off. My friend, where can we find your content, your amazing podcast?
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube at Sports Pregame Podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Stitcher's a thing, iHeartRadio. I don't know. I clicked all the boxes when I went to distribute the podcast. But yeah, every Wednesday is usually when it gets uploaded. We try to record Monday nights, so we might have to have one of y'all on
Hell yeah.
next time we need somebody. And of course, I appreciate coming on as always. And hey, if you want some merch, we got some merch over there with our
Hell yeah.
partners at Bonfire. So
Bonfire is the shit, by the way.
yeah, it was.
Shout out to
it
my
was
girl
fun making it.
Jaylene, who works over in their marketing department. She's been emailing me twice. She goes, "Hey, I haven't heard from you about a year. You want to start doing merch again?" I'm like, "Well, I actually have co-hosts who aren't fucking losers, so yeah, this works."
Yeah, we just
I actually emailed her that, and her exact response was, "Jared, you know what? We've been emailing back and forth for about a year. I never thought I'd ever get an email like that." I'm like, it's a long story.
But yeah, I appreciate
man.
y'all
Hey, glad to
on,
know
man.
that you don't think I'm a loser, Jared.
Mason, I fucking love you, buddy. I love you so much. I want to move into the same state as you.
Love it, man.
All right. And Matt and Mason, where can we find our amazing content?
We could find, where could we? On Twitter and Instagram, I believe it is I think it's on everything. It's just the Corner Booth Pod. Just look that up on everything and subscribe to every single thing you see with the words Corner Booth and Pod in it, and you'll eventually find us.
Corner Booth with the K, I might add.
Yes.
And, everything sports. We post the links for the podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and just kind of summarize what we talked about on the most recent podcast. So check us out at Corner Booth Pod, Twitter, Graham.
Hell yeah. And on
I always
TikTok,
get the breaking news on Instagram from the Corner Booth Pod.
Yeah, Matt's on that shit hard, bro.
Sometimes I'm doing.
Ladies and gentlemen of Connecticut, your state dollars, your tax dollars aren't at work. Matt's posting shit.
Yeah. Don't tell my boss.
Up to the minute.
I mean,
Listen,
it's always
Matt's
the first
one who
one.
broke it that Mad Bum got released today. Dude, I was in my office in front of my boss going, I'm like, yeah!
As long as my boss doesn't know, we are good. But there are many times where I'm supposed to be doing very serious things, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but like Odell just went to the Ravens. I have to do this. I don't tell
That's
them.
where I found that news out. It popped up.
I just do it, and I just don't say anything, and I hope nobody notices.
Yeah. I hope people start realizing like Corner Booth has all the breaking news. We may not do a show about it for 2 days, but we still have the breaking news.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Also, by the way, folks, our mock draft episode is Monday. We'll do our final mock draft. We're like Pete Schrager, 2 mock drafts only. Some of these guys who really, I've noticed the least accurate guys, the ones who fire off 60. It's like a shotgun. Listen, like what is more accurate, a 30-06 bolt action or a shotgun? 2 shots is a lot more accurate with a 30-06 than 2 shots with a shotgun.
Yep.
I swear, like these guys from the NFL Network, like Ryan Wilson, Charles Davis from the NFL Network, fucking, there's a couple other ones that I'm like, Lance Zierlein, for all these guys, right? Their drafts are terrible. You know who's the most accurate every year is fucking Pete Traeger. He drops 2 every year. So, we're following Big Bad Pete's example. We're doing a live release of our mock draft on Wednesday. Obviously, we'll do it Sunday, obviously, but it's Big Bad Marcus. Shout out to my pop. I know he's going through mouth surgery right now, but shout out to my dad for the big 6'1", baby. He's kicking. But yeah, so I'll be doing my mock draft while celebrating his birthday because the grind never stops. We may have a special surprise guest for that Monday show. Check out Chet and the boys over at Sports Scramble. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll go fucking stuff my face with some food and drink another beer. So enjoy yourselves. Have a great night. Go Diamondbacks. Beat Tatis and those steroid boys over in San Francisco. Peace.